Good morning and welcome back, Lower Macungie Middle School students. It's great to have you here. We know this isn't exactly how we drew it up, just as you see here on the board, but here we are, October 26th, 2020, and we are officially in hybrid. Some of us in the building, some of us watching at home, but all of us one big happy LMS family. So let's get started. First of all, let's take a look at the table of contents. And in the table of contents, we have it broken down to our school guidelines, our classroom guidelines, as well as our lunch guidelines. This is going to be the journey we're going to take today, kids. So in our school guidelines, we'll be discussing social distancing, mask usage, hallway expectations, bus behavior and expectations, bathroom procedures, nurse procedures, gym expectations, as well as usage of lockers and cell phones. Moving our way over to classroom guidelines, we'll be, of course, keeping social distancing in mind, discussing masks, movement in the classroom, as well as bathroom usage. And finally, we'll go over to our lunch guidelines. We'll talk about where lunch is going to be located, the usage of IDs, and the mandatory need for having them here. Social distancing, both in line and at the tables. Dismissal going to get lunch. Trash disposal, our new traffic flow patterns, and of course, masks. Moving over to social distancing, and this should be first and foremost in the front of our minds. When keeping a social distance, it's very important to remember 6 feet away. We are walking on the right side only in the hallways, making sure that we're keeping that magical 6-foot distance at all times, even if we're waiting in the hallway or for the bathroom. While we're at the bus stop, while we're in the bus line, while we're walking into school, while we're in line at lunch, while we're walking behind someone in the hallway, or while we're on the stairwells, of course, we're making sure we're maintaining that same distance and staying to the right where necessary. In addition to the social distancing, we have to remember to keep our hands to ourselves. This tends to be a big issue for middle school students. And keeping your hands to yourself includes refraining from high-fiving, fist bumping, hugging, things of that nature, things that you would certainly do if we were in a different situation, and things that are commonly seen while you're in school or while you're boarding or returning to the buses. This also includes our bus arrival as well as our bus dismissal. We need you to move to your buses quickly and promptly in a safe and a socially distant manner. Talking about masks, where do we wear them? Where do we not? And so let's break it down. While we are in hallways and while we're in the bathrooms, your masks must remain on your face at all times. While we're in lunch, while you're waiting for your lunch at your table to be dismissed, and while you're done eating, your mask goes back on your face. You will remove your mask when you are eating your lunch. When we're in the classroom, you must always have your mask on, unless you're seated with 6-foot distance and with permission from your teacher. Some of these things are known as mask breaks. Your teachers will have the discretion to decide if you're going to have those mask breaks in your classroom. That is an individual decision. While in the hallways, we have to keep in mind that there is no transition time in between classes. So, while you're in the hallway, you need to make sure that you stay on the right side at all times. This includes your stairwells in all hallways or in any area you're walking throughout the entire building. Stay to the right. Do not congregate. Do not stop to chat in the hallway. Just keep moving while keeping 6-foot distance and staying to the right side of the hallway at all times. All staff members will help to monitor during transition time between classes as well as before and after school. Busing. Your masks must be worn at the bus stop the entire time while riding the bus and when waiting to enter the building once at school. When you're on the bus, you are expected to follow all seating guidelines that are set forth by the bus driver or the administrator. When you are at the bus stop, or you're walking to or home from the bus, or waiting to enter school, again, you must have your mask on. Keep a 6-foot safe distance from your peers and follow all directives from adults. Bathrooms. Ask permission from your teacher in order to use the bathroom. You are not permitted to stop at the bathroom in between classes. The procedure to sign out is a paper sign-out form that will be in each classroom, where students will also sign and receive a pass. Once you receive that pass, students, you go directly to the bathroom. Do not stop and talk with other students that are in the hallway. Only 3 students will be permitted in the bathroom at one time. If there are more than 3, that additional person or 2 is expected to wait outside. There will be pocket charts that are hanging outside of each bathroom, and those pocket charts will hold 3 passes. So, when you see your pass in there, or when you see a pass there, that's going to let you know that there is a student in there. If there are 3 passes in that area, then you are expected to wait outside of the bathroom. Wait until one person exits, or after that person exits, you then will wait till they pass, keeping social distancing, and place your pass in the pocket chart. There will be hand sanitizer as well as pump spray that you can use to spray if you are concerned about placing your pass in there directly after another student has. Your masks must remain on while in the bathroom. You may continue to use the bathroom safely and, of course, follow all appropriate hygiene guidelines. That includes hand washing, flushing, etc. Don't let anything lay around. Keep the bathrooms clean and really wash your hands. Come up with a fun song, 20 seconds. Say the alphabet. It doesn't matter, but please make sure that you're putting forth an adequate effort in doing so. After you're finished, return to your classroom immediately. Now, a word of caution, the water fountains are currently turned off, and the water fountains are going to be replaced, but right for now, you are expected to bring a water bottle. The water fountains are going to be replaced with filling stations, so when you have your water bottle, you'll be able to fill your water bottle up throughout the day. So now we've discussed bathrooms, we've discussed procedures. Now let's go to lunch. So thinking about lunch, it is very important, students, that you have your IDs. Your IDs are extremely important. Have them on a lanyard, have them with you, and please have them somewhere safe. If you want to wear them on the lanyard and around your neck, that is certainly your choice, and that's a great idea. But again, some people don't prefer to do that. Just make sure that you have your ID with you. That is critical. Your keypads that you would normally punch into, those are not going to be available. So therefore, if you need to deposit any cash, you can give that to the cashier, but they cannot give change out. Again, to avoid any kind of social distancing issues. Now, your food will be coming to you on a tray. And when you are waiting for your food, everything will be handed to you. Just as we've always done in the cafeteria, you'll be assigned to your seats, and we'll talk about the location in a few moments. However, you will wait until your area is allowed to go to the actual area to purchase your food. Once you're called up, you then will walk to the appropriate area. You will pick up your food. Your food will be on trays. You'll receive your food, you'll get your utensils, and you'll also get condiments. Those will all be handed to you. You will also follow new directional patterns, which are listed and indicated on the floor when you get to the cafeteria. We want you to please move through those lines quickly so that everybody can be served in a timely manner. So let's talk about the locations. Well, there's 3 different places to eat. and those locations are divided by team. In the cafeteria, we are going to have 2 students sitting per table, and you will be facing in the same direction. The teams that will be allowed to sit in the cafeteria include Team Supreme, the Electric Zebras, as well as the Roaming Gnomes. In LGI number 1, that is office side LGI, that is the set of stairs outside of the cafeteria that is closest to the office. You will be allowed to sit 3 per row, all facing in the same direction. The teams that are invited to eat in LGI number 1 or office side LGI are Team Incredible, Team Excalibur, as well as the Zone. And finally, LGI number 2. There will again be 3 students seated per row, all facing in the same direction. The teams include Team Extreme, the Vikings, as well as the All-Stars. After you're finished with your lunch and it's been disposed of, you are expected to wait in your area until you are dismissed. Please, again, remember that the mask can come off while you're eating, but while you're waiting and after you're finished eating, your mask is expected to return to the appropriate area on your face. Nursing procedures. If you need to use the nurse, you are expected to ask for permission from the teacher. Then the teacher will call the nurse's office. In the nurse's office, you're expected to stay socially distanced. You're also expected to follow all of the nurse's directions once you arrive. If the nursing suite is at capacity, meaning it's full, you may be asked to wait outside the nursing suite. Stay in the chairs on the 6-foot social distance spots while waiting. For gym class, students, you are not using the locker rooms. You must come in gym clothing if the gym is in your daily schedule for that time. Remember, be prepared to go outside at all times. And being prepared looks like bringing a sweatshirt or a jacket because the weather is going to get cooler. Also, you're expected to adhere to 6-foot social distancing outside as well as inside the gym at all times. Lockers. We do have some new procedures for the lockers. You will only be permitted to go to lockers first thing in the morning and at the end of the day. Something different, you will be permitted to carry your book bags to all classes, as well as carrying all materials for the day in the book bags. There are very few textbooks, so you do have the ability to carry your laptop, your power cords, a few books, the notebooks, lunch, water, etc., in your bag. As far as cell phones must remain in the locker all day. If you are caught using the cell phone and you did not have permission to use that cell phone, you will receive a warning. Second offense, if that happens again, your phone will be taken from you and you will be required to pick it up at the end of the day. And finally, third time with the cell phone. If you are caught using the cell phone for the third time and you've already had offense number 1, offense number 2, and that's all been dealt with, well, now you're on third offense. And in that offense, the phone will be taken and it will not be given back to you. It will be, however, returned to your parent or guardian. So let's talk a little bit about transition time between classes. The bell is going to ring, and that bell is going to signal the end of the period. You, students, will have 3 minutes to move to your next class period. You should not stop off at the lockers, nor should you stop off at the bathrooms. Teachers are going to be flexible, but you can't be extremely late, otherwise known as egregiously late. And you know what late really means. Let's continue. So, this brings us to the end. As you can see here, this young man is trying to balance his books, and we know that our lives have been a little unbalanced, but we're going to do our best to balance the hybrid with the remote and really bring you all together as one big LOMS family. We thank you for your time. We're so excited to see you, even if it's just for a few days a week. Thank you, and take care.